Okay, we're recording. Hello, everyone. It's me, X Whatever, and today we're doing What If Deku Was Vergil? And right now, I am making this video. So, oh yeah, by the way, if you're wondering about this, this is actually gonna be like a texting story if you guys are wondering. Like, I just have it on there, studying it. It's not for anything else, okay? So don't even think about it. Let's see. So, basically, I think, okay, here we go. Still, and now I start the story. It was a normal day in Might the Hero universe. But one thing is always certain. Some stories don't have good endings, and some do. However, in this world, power is more needed in the world. People with quirks are the best. People without them, well, let's just say they're more than waste to society. And yes, I know, kind of a interesting plot X, like very interesting. But what about Izuku and the Pacific Rim? I won't get onto that. I actually was not into it, but now I'm getting into it. If this video actually gets up like it's to like 16 likes or 60 likes, I will actually continue this. Or continue this and start making more videos again, because let's just say that I've not been really that motivated actually. So anyway, let's get to this. There was Izuku, just back got home from school, from Bakugo beating him up again. And this time, Inko's not gonna be a huge a-hole. No. This universe, she's nice. Surprisingly, she accepts Izuku as her quirkless son. However, I'm gonna make Izuku have a sister, because it's Devil Sparta, so he has to have either a brother or a sister. Sister makes more sense to me. Because, one, we can see Izumi's development, but I don't think Izumi should even deserve to be the Sword of Sparta. But, if I think about it correctly, then she would actually redeem herself and actually think people who are weak, even though they don't have quirks, she will accept them like how Dante did. So, basically what I'm planning for the lore, basically for this one, is basically, Izuku will be powerful like Vergil, and has to be retrained like techniques how Vergil not got his techniques. And yes, there will be V in here, but I'm going to put a little bit of a plot twist. So, there will be a chance that he'll summon them. Well, actually, let's be honest, he can summon them whenever he wants, since I have Devil May Cry 5, and he can just do that, summon V whenever he wants, but it's only for a limited time. Now, this will not be a quirk. Izuku unlocks this the moment something will tragic happen in his life, okay? Anyway, let's get to it. Hey, Mom. Izuku closes the door. Hey, Izuku, Inko says. How was school? Inko looks at Bruises, and she says, "Has something happened again?" She asks worriedly. Like, no, it's fine. Inko says in her mind, like, Bakugo, you're lucky I'm letting you go. Staying with Izumi. Twitching her eye. He says, Izumi walks out the corner. Oh, well, isn't the my big quirkless brother? As Inko just turns around like, ho, young lady. What did I say about calling your brother that in front of me? As her eyes twitching. As the devilish auras are like emanating around her, straight towards Izumi, not to Izuku. And she's like, sorry, Mom, as she's sweating bullets, because their mom is terrifying. As they get ready for supper, supper, Inko made tofu steak and rice. The meal is going really well. Until Izumi just blurted this out. So, Mom, I'm wondering, I'm going to be registering for the Hero Academy. As Ingo says, oh, well, that's wonderful, Streety. As Izumi turns around, like, turns to her brother, like, she smirks at him, like, like, as Ingo's like, so, your brother's actually planning to transfer over to UA. As Izumi's, like, turns to her mother, like, what? As she sets up from the table, slamming it. But Mom, he's quirkless. As Ingo turns around, like, looks at her. That didn't stop your. You really shouldn't judge someone just because they're quirkless. Just because your father is no longer here doesn't mean you can just say that around your own brother. He's your own flesh and blood. And from my very own daughter, calling her, or like neglecting her own brother like that is a very bad. I'm sorry if that's why I'm rusty. A bad choice. As Izumi wanted to explain why she couldn't join, she was like giving her that. Inko gave her that look that told Izumi's instincts told her not to continue because she was shaking in fear. And Izuku is happy that his mother loved him. Hell, she loved him more than Izumi. Because one, she doesn't accept quirkless people. That's what's making her weak. Because the reason why I'm not continuing much more because my mom's gonna come down here, so yep. As Izumi gets done eating and goes gets done eating and goes to her room. As Izuku says, "Okay, Mom. Good night. I enjoyed the food." And Inko says, "You're welcome, Izuku." As Inko grabs Izuku's shoulder, and she says, "If there's anything actually bothering you, tell me." As Inko gave that wonderful smile, as Izuku's like, "Okay, thanks, Mom." As then Izuku goes to bed, closing his eyes and crying like, "I'm so weak. I wish I had power or something beyond a quirk." As Izuku closes his eyes, he hears a sound. Power. You seek power, Izuku. Izuku opened his eyes to look around. Who said that voice? He was in some kind of void place, completely black. As he turned around, he saw the man wearing a hooded robe. The man looked old. The man sounded old, but also on the brink of dying. He had a demonic voice. Izuku mustered up all the courage to talk.
Good day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Love you. Sorry, guys, it's my dad. Number one dad. Like, do you seek power, Izuku? The man said. Oh, Izuku. I think Izuku said, "Who are you?" My name isn't important right now. But do you seek power, young Izuku? Izuku flinched, wondering if this was a dream. Izuku sat there for a few moments. He said yes. unconsciously. It's like, very well. As the man grabbed his sword and stabbed it through Izuku. From now on, boy, you will have my powers. You will be stronger than any normal person, beyond a quirk. The moment the man did this, Izuku felt pain through his chest as a man disappeared into dust in front of him. But the ashes turned into some type of light, went into Izuku's body. Izuku's body felt like it was on fire. It was like he was burning alive. The pain was so intense that he was sweating he was sweating so much. He was screaming in the dream. The moment he woke up, Izuku got up. He felt like his body was through so much pain. But the pain was slowly vanishing the more he got up, the more he moved. It was like he was no longer weak. He felt stronger, more powerful. Izuku got up and looked at the mirror. He noticed he was a bit taller and a bit more handsomer. But one thing was plainly obvious, was the sword right on his bed. It was the sword that man had. Izuku wondered if that dream was actually real. So Izuku decided to pick up the sword. The moment he did, the sword disappeared. And Izuku thinks he must be hallucinating. But when Izuku picked up the sword, his hair went back to normal. The only thing that didn't change was his height. His height increase. So Izuku looked around, like scavenged around his room for the clothes that Inko bought him in case he ever grew up. Now his other clothes were too small on him. Thank goodness Mom foreseen my growth. As then Izumi kept banging on the door. And yes, he's still handsome. Banging on the door violently, like, come on, Izuku, come on, quirkless nerd. We have to go. As Izuku puts on his clothes and everything, he grabs his backpack. He opens the door. Izumi looks at his expecting her little brother still to be the normal Izuku. But he walks out looking handsome as fuck and taller than Izumi, and he even towered over his mother. Like, and Izumi's like, did you get a growth spurt, bro? As Izumi's like, I guess I did. And yes, he's gonna have a bit of Vergil's cockiness. And let's just say, Izumi grabbed the pencil behind him using her telekinesis quirk and threw it at him. But Izuku just dodges it and catches it with his 2 fingers. As then he just turns to his sister like, is that really all you can do, sis? Izumi is like twitching her eye like, oh, wait until we get to school. As he just said, walking past his sister, whispering to her, I look forward to it. Izumi. As he smiles sadistically. The moment he steps outside the door, he is questioning what the hell just happened. Because one, he's never done that in his life. Stand up to himself in front of his sister. And now, since normal beatings from Bakugo and Zumi were not bad, were not as bad, but now they're gonna be twice as bad. Is Izuku thinking? If you guys are liking this plot twist, the amount of detail I'm putting into it, shout in the comments saying more detail. X, you've gotten a bit. You know what I'm gonna say? Even if I'm old, I come out much more finer than I usually do. As Izuku kept walking, or was leaving, to school, he heard a voice and said, "So, Izuku, looks like you're adapting to my power." As the whole place just stopped. It was like it was all frozen in time. What? I thought you were in a dream, so it was real. As a man under the hood smiled like, "Yes, kid. It was all real. And also, sorry, my throat's so dry. The power you possess is far beyond a quirk. But in order for you to master my power, you must train." And Zuko says, "Why?" Well, as the man in the hood looked at him strangely like, "You do know power comes with a cost, and also you must know how to use it." As Zuko's like, "True." As a man just shrugs it off like, huh. "You know, back in my day, I didn't have to deal with kids who neglected their training." And Zuko's like, "Well, I never trained before. And plus, I was quirkless, so I was always depressed, so I never got around to it." As Vergil's like scratching his head, like scratching his back of his head, like, "Oh, I see." Besides, isn't this right now? If you're wondering why your hair color went back to green, right? As Izuku says, "Yeah." Well, basically, you're in like your limit mode. Basically, what it is saving a ton of my power and stocking it up. In this mode, you're actually not wasting much of your strength. But if you change your hair to white, you're releasing 15% of your power. Izuku's like, "That was 15% against my sister?" As as the man said, "Yes." As Izuku's like, "So, who are you, mister?" As the man stayed silent. "I'll tell you one day, Izuku. But if you want to know more, you must train. First, let's go to school." As Izuku's like, "Alright." As Vergil's like, "But there is a good side of my ability. And that is, try thinking of the place to go to school. Where's that? How far is it? Just close your eyes and think about it." As Izuku thought and thinking about going to school, as he closed his eyes, as Vergil says, "You can open them now." As Izuku opened his eyes to see he's already at school. He's like, "Huh? How am I?" As Vergil says, "Shh. You're gonna make quite a scene if you're not careful, kid." As Izuku shuts his mouth like, "So, I have the ability to teleport?" As Vergil says, "Yes, but only for a certain distance. You were just lucky that you were within the range of the school." "So how far is your range?" "Well, it is at least 35 meters, or 40 if you train even harder." jeez, that's pretty long. And she's like, yeah. That's what happens when you train like me. And Izuku goes to school, has his binder. As he walks in the class, everyone looked at him strangely. First off, Izuku looked tall as hell. And let's just say he be looking pretty fine in my opinion, boys and girls. He'll be having the Chad Vergil vibes, my boy. Izuku sat back down to his desk, sat in his desk, as everyone else arrived, and Izumi arrived, looking at her like, huh? Did everyone give him a ride? Cause I should have been here first before him. As Bakugo got in as well, like, there you are, Deku! As Izuku just turns to Bakugo, Bakugo, this class is about to start. And plus, you don't have time for that. As Bakugo's like, just you wait. After school, you're gonna get the beating of your life. As Izuku just turns to him like, really? Nothing but a dog, but nothing but the dog can bark, but has no bite. Such a favorite poem of mine. As then Izuku's like, what the? When did I become a poem guy? As Vergil's like, sorry. I like having said that. I like my poems. As Vergil, in Izuku's mindset, pulls out a new book and he just sniffs like, new book smell. As Izuku like gets so depressed, like, I'm with someone, I'm with a weirdo. I'm with a weirdo. As the teacher opens the door, like, okay, class, that's it. Everyone to your desks. Move. Oh, okay, I'm going to be ending it here. Because, one, I want to do it more as well, but if we get up to 16 likes or so, I will upload this again. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.